Hey everybody, Dr. Petra, classmates of the art and science of spiritual mind treatment. This is my third take, trying to get it down to 5 minutes. It's going to be a challenge, but focusing on the creative aspects and cutting out a lot of the fluff. So for me, my project is around trusting the process. Obviously, I learned a lot of insights through the workshop and connecting them with my past. A lot of my work in professional life has been around trusting the process. And so I wanted to kind of pull those two together as a creative way to highlight some of the key insights that I gained and maybe share something new and exciting with you. So for me, the two practices from my past that is experiential learning and design thinking. So the experiential learning, I was actually a mechanical engineer, and I learned a lot about process that way. But I learned about experiential learning when I got into my master's in organization development. And once I moved to California, got involved with a youth nonprofit called the Challenge Learning Center. I ended up running that organization, ropes course and on-campus empowerment programs. And one of the things that we always started out with is just something simple like crossing your arms and just noticing which one is on top. For me, it's the left. So play along, try this at home. Which one's on top for you? And switch it, put it on the bottom. How does that feel? A little uncomfortable, a little weird? Go back. All right. So again, just noticing that it was automatic, crossing our arms. We do it the same way every time without thinking. But if something's a little different, we want to go back to our comfort zone. So this reminds us that there's no learning in our comfort zone. It's this little bit of uncomfortableness that sparks the brain to life and maybe the universe right along beside it. So number 2 is the design thinking and how a sequenced process, right, can help transform the way, the results in the creative thinking of a group. Obviously, a mechanical engineer, everything that I've done in my entire career has had a process to it. And so I'm very comfortable teaching that, but I wasn't very comfortable teaching about trust. And so when we developed our global leadership program, the trust elements from what I was doing out in the ropes course seemed to be essential. It was part of every workshop I've done. I've done hundreds. Me and my partner together has done thousands at universities and corporations globally. So one of those activities uses a mousetrap. And so I'm going to quickly set the mousetrap and kind of demonstrate. What we're literally going to do is hand out mousetraps to all the participants and then have them set it off with their hand. Now I do it quick and all that, or dramatic. All kinds of different reactions to that. So now I stop before I hand out the mousetraps and I said, okay, let's notice the process. Holding from the bottom where the V is, bending this bar down, pinching it with the same finger, having this lever come up and catch right on that little edge right there. Now releasing the pressure until I feel that catch. So I teach those details of the process because some people may have never set one in their life or had a bad experience and got snapped by one. Other people like me and live in the country, no problem. The second part of the process is having people put their hands over it. Now we want to be lined up, fingers together, 6 inches over. And then in a swift movement down and up. Step 3 in the process. So again, we're building confidence, a little uncomfortable each step of the way. But now you're getting more comfortable setting the mousetraps, positioning them. But now I close my eyes and I turn the process over to somebody else. That one for navigating my hand and positioning it. And then I must initiate the second. So how do we share in the process? Right? How do we build that confidence and trust, right, that it's going to work? great insights that are always coming, and how does this relate back? And for this class, how does that relate back to our spiritual practice? At work, how does that work back to team processes and things like that? So for me, the details matter a lot. Very specific on your, and then communicating consistently, clearly, reassuringly, right? All that allows the brain to relax just a little bit. And then the repetition. You've got to do these things over and over and over to get the new neural pathways embedded. So for me, I learned how to fine-tune the spiritual mind process and the spiritual mind treatment, on small specific things, right? Building that confidence and seeing those demonstrations and then growing it in size and scope. I didn't start doing this for a global IT transformation company. I work with some of the biggest logos and some of their most important initiatives. And I started out with high school kids in a park. Develop broader set of words to express. For me, it's God in spirit, right? How are different ways to express the different aspects and elements that are important in that? And the metaphor to connect the dots for myself, which is around nature. I think that works well. I love some of what Dr. Peter talks and that, physics and and down to particle matter and things like that. Right? Relates to the engineer in me. And finally, the conscious application transforms into habits as I regularly engage them and getting back to a better morning practice. Whether I'm here at home, whether I'm traveling on the road, whether I'm at my girlfriend's, I need to have those set. I need to have ones that I can pull up at a moment's notice when I'm triggered. I need to find better ways to hone those spiritual practices and the variety of that they are. Last activity. So if I asked you how many nails could you balance on top without holding them, the brain goes in to start thinking about solutions. Well, maybe I could do one, maybe two, maybe if I tried it a different way, maybe not more than that. But what if I told you I could do 13 nails, balancing on the head of one? All of a sudden, possible? All right, got the setup going. Yes, it is possible. So sometimes it's hard for us to envision a future because we haven't had the ability to trust that the process would deliver. Or maybe we felt left down, left out, left down, let down, let down. So have a big, bold future. Imagine something that seems impossible at first and realize that it may just be difficult. And your spiritual practices will guide you along that journey. Thanks.